Before I get into this video, I just want to say that this video is fair use, so all the media used in this video is used for criticism, review in a transformative way. All the information I present is public information, and everything else is a legit a joke or just my opinion. So this video is just going to be about Sienna May and Jack Wright, because there's a lot happening with that, and everyone's still very uncertain about what's happening. So for those of you who don't know who they are, because I sure as fuck didn't, Selena Gomez makes TikToks where she essentially just shows off her conventionally attractive body that she knows is conventionally attractive, and arguably does what one could consider fishing for compliments and using that to claim that she is promoting body positivity. I sound really bitchy here. I know that some people, like particularly men, will always find an issue with people's bodies even if they are the beauty standard and they are skinny in all the right places and thick in all the right places. It's more about the fact that it's clear that the people who follow her aren't there for the body positivity, because people larger than her and doing the exact same thing are getting absolutely shat on. They're not getting the same energy. People want body positivity, but only for people who look like Sienna, and she is the perfect person to give that to them. It can be argued that she actually does, but the thing is, do y'all remember, I've ranted about this before, but do y'all remember that TikTok trend where skinny girls would hunch over their bodies and to try and essentially imitate or mock larger women? Like, they would hunch over and force roles and pretend that they have those roles, and it essentially just gives off the message that I'm skinny, but this is what we are now considering fat because I want the attention, knowing damn well that they've never had to be insecure about being fat. So she basically did this for merch. She put a picture of herself on a hoodie where she was hunched over in such a way where you do start to empathize for her spine. And Jack Wright is also a TikTok star along with his twin brother James. Jack also gained popularity by being like conventionally attractive, but he didn't do the whole body positivity thing. And I've heard that Sienna gained popularity from the start when she made fun of somebody doing what she did now, which was essentially, you know, a skinny person showing their bloat after they like ate something, and for some reason thinking that that would make fat people feel any better. But Mason, who is a friend of the twins Jack and James, went on Twitter and tweeted out a notes app kind of statement which said, "I struggle with seeing a girl getting praised after telling my best friend to kill himself and sexually assaulting him numerous times after he set boundaries, and then repeatedly wonder why he doesn't like you back. She also has a history of verbally abusing people in high school and in LA. She prioritizes the growth of her platform rather than the positive message she represents herself as. Followers should not be an excuse to get away with abusive behavior. You guys all deserve to know the truth about her." And people caught on pretty quickly that it was about Selena Gomez, so she went on YouTube with a video called Addressing False Allegations. She later posted another video called Addressing False Allegations 2, but that was a lot more recent. In the first video, she says explicitly multiple times, "I did not sexually assault Jack Wright." She says that, like, if she had, why didn't anybody bring it up? Why did Jack not bring it up with her and talk about the fact that she sexually assaulted him? She said that she had never had sex with Jack. This part was a mess, but she said that the relationship was not healthy and that Jack saw it more of like a game, whereas she genuinely had feelings for him. And it came out later that like James was told by Jack that it was like a fake relationship for online and all that shit, but she like was essentially led on, she felt, and that she like actually fell in love with him and like actually had feelings for him and all that, and he just wasn't treating her very well. Then she essentially said like, "I'm sorry for throwing you under the bus, but like I have to do this to save myself. So I'm letting everyone know that Jack was sexually assaulted, but not by me." And she also said that it was hypocritical of James to accuse her of sexual assault with no evidence when he was the one who like actually had a history of sexual assault. I've said this before and I'll say it again just as like a thing before I get into it. In a situation where there's little to no proof for either sides of the argument of whether the accused is guilty or innocent, it is like a lot better if you think that the claim is believable to believe the accuser and find out that they are lying, rather than believe the accused to later find out that they're a rapist or a sexual assaulter. That being said, a lot of people are on Sienna's side, and her videos have gone over very well for a topic like this, for a situation like this. The like to dislike ratio is on her side, however the comments, like the top comments, aren't. Now, there are a lot of reasons why the person who got sexually assaulted would not bring up the issue of them getting sexually assaulted with the person who sexually assaulted them. Also, sexual assault isn't just sex. You can sexually assault somebody without ever having sex with them. And I also found this TikTok talking about essentially what is like the response in regards to like developing PTSD after being sexually assaulted.
I want to make this video to talk about something that Sienna said, and this is for survivors. I don't give a shit about the drama that's going on. This is for survivors who are watching this and feeling like anything that she's saying is valid or true.
Because if I was just taken advantage of, I know that personally, and I'm sure a lot of people can agree to this, wouldn't want to hang out with that person the next day willingly.
I've been working with survivors and survivor advocacy for over 4 years now. 94% of survivors experience PTSD the 3 weeks following their assault. A symptom of PTSD is literally not remembering what happened, but another one is self-denial. So many men do not report the assault for this exact reason. SA is not cutthroat. And to spread a narrative that it has to be one thing, you need to prove why you talked to someone the next day, why you don't remember what happened. All of this shit is so fucked up. If you're a survivor watching this, you never need to prove what happened to you wasn't okay. Don't listen to children on the internet. Start getting consent education from professionals.
Many people brought up her tone and how she seemed very aggressive and angry, and there were 3 ways that they essentially interpreted that. One was obviously, she was just angry about these accusations and she didn't want that shit going around about her. The second was that she was trying too hard to convince people. And the third is that she seems very bully-like, in the sense that as soon as something doesn't go her way, she gets very aggressive and very angry. Now, I don't like that last one. I feel like it's very nitpicky. If somebody came out about me, damn right I would be angry. That doesn't mean, would you not be angry? I know damn well if somebody came out with false allegations about me, I'd be hella pissed. False allegations are not something, it's not a case of it didn't go my way and now I'm angry. It's serious. And any reasonable person would be pissed about it. It's a matter of slander, and it's disgusting, and it sets back and mocks real victims. I'm not saying that he's not a real victim or anything. I'm just saying in the case of. But I do agree with the general public that her discussing how much she loved Jack and how he didn't seem to love her back, or that she essentially saw the relationship now as that he used her, that wasn't really relevant, and it was kind of manipulative, or hella manipulative depending on how you see it. I do understand that if I was in this situation, and if I genuinely believe that I hadn't sexually assaulted anyone, I would also be her, but it's also it's very much giving off vibes as a motive for sexual assault, or a rationale of sorts. And I also agree with the public that accusing James and also this unnamed party of sexual assault with no proof, while calling James and all these other boys out for accusing you without any proof, is the same thing. And it's also using a very serious thing as a petty kind of, it's almost a way to win an argument, but you know what I mean? There was no reason to bring this up. This doesn't make you seem any better. It was you sexually assaulted somebody, okay, well you sexually assaulted, okay, we really, there shouldn't be back and forth. There should just be, don't sexually assault people, maybe that. Also, if he had sexually assaulted somebody, that would mean that you were perfectly fine with that up until this point. Or at the very least, you kept your mouth shut about it until this point because you needed the deflection. And that's just not how sexual assault cases should work. Do not use this person is bad to remove the potential blame on you if you had treated somebody else bad. That's it doesn't make you seem any better. She posted the second video because there was video evidence of what a lot of people consider her committing the sexual assault.
I unequivocally deny the allegations that I sexually assaulted Jack Wright.
This video is from November 30th, 2020. As you can clearly see, that is Sienna and that is Jack passed out on the couch, unconscious. This is the first time I met Sienna, and I did not know that they had a fake relationship. This is me in the white hat. I was taking care of Jack while he was unconscious on the couch. Sienna then hops on top of him, and I didn't think nothing of it. I started hearing kissing noises, and I peeked over my shoulder, and it was exactly that. I was so thrown off guard that I had to flee the situation. Whatever their relationship was at the time, obviously this was not right, so I went back and took Sienna off of Jack. Not to mention, when I got closer, I noticed her right hand inappropriately touching his crotch. She was shocked that I pulled her off, and she kept trying to justify what she had just done. I talked to James and Jack the next day about the situation that happened that night, and James said that happens all the time. These are the facts, and I'm a witness.
The TikTok itself has been deleted, and Sienna brings this fact of deletion up a lot. The thing that I find interesting about this is you have proof of him being passed out. You have proof of Sienna being on top of him and making out with him, but you don't have proof of you helping him out. You don't have proof of doing this savior thing of pulling her off. You don't have proof of doing the right thing and stopping the sexual assault that you claimed happened. So it's almost as if there is a motive for you to do this to make yourself seem like a better person, like, oh, I'm so heroic, I did this and it was the right thing and I'm amazing, but I don't have any proof for it, but I have proof for everything else. Now, Sienna's start to the second video was, I had proof in my original video that, like, I'm in the clear. And it was very well received because people could see that I'm telling the truth and had, like, good intentions. Her first video did not have proof. It had proof for the opposition's points, and she just said that, like, it wasn't true, or that there was, like, context to it. For example, people were taking old TikToks or TikTok comments to prove that she was really possessive and, like, obsessive and just, like, controlling and weird and bordering on abusive, but she was saying that this was like an inside joke. Like, it was funny for her to essentially make these jokes with Jack. It was funny for them for her to be like the crazy girlfriend, and they would laugh about it behind the scenes. She also said that if you actually look at the video, then you can see that his arm moves when he gets up. Wrong. Jack was conscious, we were kissing each other, look at his hand move. This video is from November, taken completely out of context. Stop believing all the fake shit you see on social media. Look at my video if you care about getting more info. And people said, you can still move while unconscious. Your hand can move when you're passed out. Passing out isn't the same as dying. There is a part of the video where his arm does move in a weird way, but the part that she highlights is not it. Y'all saw the video. But he had his arm around him, and then when he got up, his arm fell off. That doesn't mean that he moved his arm necessarily, but if you look closely, his arm moves after it's fallen down and goes back onto his lap. She meant like when his arm slid off, like fell off of the guy's shoulder when he got up, which that's not him moving his arm. However, if you do look closely, after his arm has already fallen, the arm then moves again back onto his lap. But she doesn't really point out this particular instance of his arm moving. If you knew his arm was moving because he was awake, why would his arm falling off be the instance that you kind of focus on? I feel like people don't know what the fuck I'm saying. But, like, it seems like she was searching for a point. Searching for, like, oh, his arm moved. Because his arm did move, but then she pointed out the wrong part. She pointed out the part where his arm moved because of gravity. She claimed that the clip of him unconscious and asleep was after they had made out. And she said, if he was sexually assaulted, why didn't anyone do anything? Why did James, his twin brother, just record it and essentially laugh at it? I don't know if he was actually laughing, but it was very much like, oh my god, but not in like a way, in like a ooh tea kind of way. And then she says, we both know you filmed it because it was PDA and it was funny. She said that they had hung out until May and that they were being all touchy-feely, and they're like, she had TikToks to prove this, that they were being extremely close while hanging out. Again, she talked about James's apparent past history of sexual assault, and she provided a video of a guy talking about his experience with James, which he didn't like, where he essentially said that when they met James had greeted them by kissing them on the cheek, and they felt really uncomfortable by that. But going through everything, now the TikTok that I showed you said that the PTSD lasts about 3 weeks. But Sienna does show proof that they were hanging out months after the alleged incident. Again, there could be reasons about, like, you know, just like having a connection or like not wanting to believe it, or like the PTSD doesn't have to, like, there's no set time that the PTSD has to last. There are reasons for it. I'm not a psychologist. But also just please stop using James as a deflection. He may have overstepped if the person was telling the truth about how he greeted them with a kiss, and they felt really uncomfortable by that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he sexually assaulted people. He definitely should have more respect for people's boundaries and understand that not everyone is comfortable with being greeted by a kiss, but that doesn't, grasping at straws. Now, it took a really long time, but Jack did a thing. He finally posted a statement himself saying, "While I love sharing my life with all of you, some parts are deeply personal and I have been hesitant to share for my own emotional and mental well-being. But I will say this. Sexual assault is a very serious matter that has real consequences. Mason and James's only intent was to protect me with the truth, and I really value their enormous support through this extremely difficult time. I truly encourage my childhood friend Sienna to get the support and help that she needs. I don't want to tear anyone down, and only wish healing for everyone involved." Now, the fact that he says Mason and James's only intent was to protect me with the truth makes a lot of people think that they were telling the truth. I truly encourage my childhood friend Sienna to get the support and help that she needs. It's very ambiguous, but it does possibly suggest that she did do something that she wasn't supposed to and needs to get help for that. But, like, stop demanding Jack to give you everything. he does not need to share his sexual assault story with everyone. I do think that he should confirm whether or not it was Sienna, definitely, because people are trying to figure out whether or not they're out here supporting somebody who sexually assaulted another person. So it'd be great if you came out and just let everyone know. But that doesn't mean he needs to get into everything. And I find it very disturbing how a lot of people are expecting him to. It's his trauma, let him deal with it. But also, this is not a drama. I don't know why the fuck the YouTube channel Anna Oop would get mad at Jack for not sharing his story, first of all, but also say shit like, oh, I'm over this drama. Like, this, are you actually fucked in the head? If you don't want to report sexual assault allegations, if you don't care enough about serious topics, then just don't do it. What the fuck is wrong with you? But that's all I have for you guys today. If you liked this video, if you liked me, make sure to like and subscribe. If you didn't like me, make sure to get in contact with my teachers, because I bet you have a lot in common, and make sure to stay safe and stay hydrated.